sounds so heavy and depressing. Seems like there might be another way in, if that makes any sense, for my mind. Because if I just tell my mind, well, stop it, stop dragging the dead corpse along, it doesn't, it just makes me feel like I'm doing this.
Oh, then don't do that. Do whatever speaks to you. Do whatever resonates for you.
I'm just not sure exactly how I might approach that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's important to know what is your real question. Because once you have clarity about your question, from the clarity of your question comes the clarity around the question. So it's really important to be just to really be intimate with what's going on. Of course, if peace and tranquility are going on, then that's really beautiful. It's like swimming in the ocean on a hot day, or having a drink of water when you're thirsty. Of course, it's very beautiful.
There seems like it's just something. Seems like, there is peace, and then there's something else. That's just how.
Yeah, absolutely. So then that's.
But I'm not sure what this something else that seems maybe in the way.
Right. So that's good. So maybe your question is, what's in the way? There is something. Maybe you sense it, or you sort of feel it at some way. So what that it seems to be in the way, yes? So when that's arising, or maybe you can bring it up, you can sort of go to it in a way, and then contemplate how is that in the way, and what is it in the way of, and in whose way is it? There are many questions, many ways you can contemplate that impression you just shared with us. And that's an important contemplation, because it's really lovely when there is nothing in the way, when there is just the presence, whatever the peace, the happiness, the stillness, whatever the words don't matter, but that quality of unperturbed, no shadows, you see, sort of the simplicity, the effortless presence, effortless peace, causeless. So what's in the way? So there might not be anything in the way, for example, right now, but whenever there is a situation where something is in the way, or the impression that there is some, seems like it, yeah, the impression that something is in the way, then it's probably a good time to be contemplating that. And as a hint, a good place to look is in the way for whom? For something is in the way for whom? So there is something, and there's an observed, for example, using this terminology, and there is an observer, and there is something in the way. Just using that metaphor, it might not be apply really specifically to what you are sharing, but as metaphor. So the question there would be is like, what is it that is being blocked? What is the perceiver that's being blocked from the perceived? Let's say that the perceived is peace, the experience of peace and of openness, freedom, yes, openness, and the perceiver is I. Yeah. So the question is, what's in the way? What is in the way between the openness and I? So that's the question. And so it's important to be clear about what I are you referring to. So you have to go in your own contemplation to what right now, what does I represent for me? So you have to go to that and see what are, if any, your assumptions or your position, let's say, about this I. So for example, there is I as a me, as a conditioned, me in time. Is that I, the me, the man, the woman, the mother, the teacher, the whatever, sister, that this and that happened to her this morning, and she's hoping, or he's hoping for this and that tomorrow. We refer to that from the mind, refers to that as I. I'm careful to distinguish, to refer to that as me, not I. Because I use the term I to refer to I as consciousness. So always in my conversations, when I say I, I'm referring to I as consciousness. The I as presence, I as awareness, I as openness. There's another word, for that, for I, openness, borderless presence. So the I that is awareness is already open. It's already openness. Because awareness or presence has no borders. When you look, and again, I'm maybe moving too fast, but you probably have already done some of that, inquiry. When you look for where are the borders to awareness, you only find the borders of awareness in your beliefs. That awareness is this thought that awareness must be contained, for example, in my brain, whatever, as a belief. But in your own experience, when you go to the exploration of where does awareness start or end, or where does presence start or end, you don't find any starting point or ending point to presence. So it's already openness. So if you're referring to I as awareness, I as presence, then there is nothing in the way, just by definition. There's nothing in the way between I, presence, which already is openness, and openness. Because I it's already openness. Awareness is already borderless presence, already openness. So I would suggest that the impression that there is something in the way, it's whenever you sort of forget that you are, well, let me just put it another way. Whenever you revert to imagining yourself to be a person, then there is something in the way. There is an impression that there is something in the way. And it is that belief structure that, oh, I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm this or that sort of defines presence, consciousness, defines I as a me, sort of reduces the I of presence to a me. And we feel limited, we feel contained, we feel like I am this person. And it's at that feeling level that there is this experience of something in the way. So I invite you, whenever, for example, there is that impression, to go to your body, rather than to go to your mind, go to your body. Go locate in your body, maybe in your belly, your chest, locate in your body. It could be your legs, your neck, your face sometimes, where there is that sort of as a contraction, like something in the way, contraction, concern, whatever the term is. Go to that part of your body and go to that sensation. Go to it. Just go closer and closer and closer and closer to it, and keep going to it. Go to it and keep going and getting closer and closer to it. And as you're going to it, you will notice that there's a vastness. You don't come upon anything, It's as if it's just sort of dissolving in the space. Because when you are coming to it, it is you as awareness that's coming to it. Yes, you're coming to it with your interest. Your interest. So there is a willingness to discover and be discovered. See? So in that willingness, there is a trust and a form of an abandon, like a trust, a deep trust. And you will find, as you're moving towards the sensation, and not contracting away, that you will find the freedom and the liberation. It's you conduct your own experiments. It's a living, it's a dynamic process of inquiry and exploration. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, that's helpful. It opened, and all I got was the image within the openness,
Yes.
which was a better kind of sense than it being in my way of something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
There is nothing in the way of presence, because presence is the impression of something being in the way is always when you identify as a person.